we have heard a promise from one of our next participants of PitchCon. One of the final duo of Jordan White and Christopher Weber. And I'm going to bring them on right now. And oh my gosh. Chris and Jordan, you guys told me something if we were to make it to 15,000. Oh, Chris is getting in on the action as well this year.
That's right.
Chris, what is that?
All right. So if you watched PitchCon last year, if you watched us last year, you might remember that we ate a hot dog for every X amount of dollars that was donated.
I ate a hot dog.
I participated.
The collective we. Yes.
No, I had cocktail wieners because fine print. I bend to the rules a little bit. Yeah. What can you do? But for every $100 that is donated tonight, we will the collective we again. We will eat a hot dog. We will alternate. Now I have 8 hot dogs here. So if we let Jordan go first, then if we say we get through 15 hot dogs,
17 is what the limit would be.
Sure.
It's okay. I have 16 on deck. So
not the point, Nick. We will figure we get through about 15 hot dogs if I leave one, and then that will put us at 14.5. And if we get to 15,000, I have one more hot dog here set off to the side, on the top shelf over here, top shelf hot dogs. But I also have the hottest Hot Ones sauce.
Oh my God.
The Last Dab Thermageddon.
So are you suggesting, Chris? What do I think you're suggesting?
I'm suggesting the death dog if we reach 15,000.
Guys, I don't think you'll get a better opportunity during PitchCon and better motivation to get there. And I will say right now, Andrea Stern, friend of Pitcher List, just donated $100 to get us over 13,000. We're at 13,085. And Stephen Owen made a $70 donation in memory of Big Brother Jimmy O. And someone else, Schwebzy, made a $50 donation saying the OTC guys are so cool and handsome. I miss them so much.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. He didn't hear that I said OTC instead of ITD. And then Adam Howe also made a $25 donation. So we're just going to treat that 85 like it's the full 100. Maybe someone can donate $15 to get us right at that beautiful 13,100. And look at us. We're over $13,000. But can we make it to 15 so that this guy has to eat a devil dog? We'll see. We'll see. Take it away, boys. In the Deep is back for one night only.
Big ups to Nicholas Peter Pollock for that intro. Appreciate it very much. Schwebzy.
Not my middle name. Not my middle name.
He's not even on screen. How is he talking?
Nicholas Pernicious Pollock. Percival.
Perfunctory. Schwebzy, while I'm housing this dog, would you like to do a little intro for us?
I mean, it's nice to see you again. It's been a year. We finally let you out of the dark room that we keep you in between, yearly In the Deep episodes. It's been a year since we've done an episode. Actually, technically, it's been 926 days since we have done an episode. But who's counting? So we actually, in between, busking podcasts on the corner, since we don't do it on the internet anymore, we've decided that for our secret episodes that haven't been released to the internet, we are going to press them on vinyl and just sell them to one guy like that awful person bought that the Wu-Tang Clan did.
Yes, our favorite person.
But yeah, so if you're not familiar with In the Deep, this was a somewhat long-running Deep League podcast where we did deep dives on a handful of players every week. We try to pick a wide variety of players. We try to do like an infielder, an outfielder, a pitcher every week. So we try to give a wide breadth of takes every week. But yeah, we come back once a year because for some reason Nick seems to think that we're worthy of closing this thing. I don't understand it, to be honest.
I also don't get it. I will say the fact that people say that they miss in the deep blows my mind every single time. I appreciate you for the people that do that, but also like I'm on stream eating hot dogs right now, and this is the level of content that we generally produced when we were still doing the episodes. So thank you for enjoying this, I guess, you weirdos.
So Jordan, have you already housed a dog?
I have half one left. I'm going to finish it real quick, actually.
All right, because Nick made the starting point Adam Howe's donation, and that would put us at what, 75, 145, 245, 295. We are at 320 so far, which means 2 dogs for you, 1 for me. So I mean, why don't we talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today?
So yeah, if folks remember from last year, we did a post 300 draft with one another. So we each chose a catcher, an infielder, an outfielder, a starting pitcher, and then a relief pitcher. And then we separated all of the players in these different ADP bands. So from 300 to 350, 351 to 400, so on and so forth until it was post 500. We can only each select a player or one player from each of those bands. So one player from 300 to 350, 350 to 400, so on and so forth. And that's kind of our team. Schwebzy, you actually have last year's draft board handy. Is that correct?
I do. And I have this here for one reason and one reason only. One,
to brag?
Yeah. But last year, I have a bone to pick with you, chat. Last year, we did this draft. I was the clear winner, to everyone. But then we held a vote after the chat was done, after the draft was done. And I believe in a 5-2 shellacking, the chat voted that Jordan won this draft.
This guy right here.
I mean, I'm just here to rub it in everyone's face, especially Jordan's. But we'll just remember this. We're going to do the same exercise again. We're going to do the same draft again, and just remember the mistakes you've made in the past when you're voting on who wins this year's draft. That's all.
That's all we can say.
But yeah, no, you've got dogs to eat. I will explain the rules of this thing. So, as you can see from last year's draft. Each one of us drafted a player from 5 different position groups. You can see we've got an outfielder, an infielder, a catcher, a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher. And there are also 5 different bands of ADP. We've got 300 to 350, 350 to 400, 4 to 450, 450, 500, 500 plus. So if you, for example, in this draft, take Max Kepler at 454 first overall, that means for the rest of the draft, you cannot take an outfielder. You cannot take a player in between 450 and 500. So we are trying to again, as we try to do, offer a breadth of takes across the entire spectrum of late round picks. We want to do both late 12-teamer picks and then NFC drafts. So if you were here last year, you probably remember that our director of media, Josh Sperry, made us some custom videos for the draft. And we actually have an example, if you weren't here, of the kind of video that he made for us last year.
To begin the 5th and final round, Team Schwebzy selects Dustin May, pitcher, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Now, I would classify the videos that were made as mean and nasty towards me specifically.
Also, big shout out to new Brewers hitting coach Daniel Vogelbach. Welcome back, buddy.
Yes, but Sperry is kind of our understudy. We don't need an understudy, but we kind of let him believe that. So we had a talking to with him. We told him be more even keeled, a bit more fair to the both of us this year.
Correct. Yes.
So we'll once we get this draft started, we'll see what our for last year's commissioner has whipped up for us this year. I don't think he's going to be announcing picks this year, but let's see what he's got whipped up for us. So Jordan, do you think we can kick this thing off?
Yeah, officially, let's do it.
All right. So, with the first pick of this draft, Schwebzy takes is that
That was Didier Fuentes, who was not as our first pick.
That's not who I picked.
No. Okay. Small hiccup. That might have been I think that might have been a test video that he was doing as like kind of like a proof of concept initially. Is my assumption. I don't know.
Was that Fist of the North Star?
It very well may have been. Yeah.
Incredible stuff. All right. Well, I did not take Didier Fuentes. Sperry is a Braves fan. That's probably just something he was working on. I don't know. I did not take Didier Fuentes with my first pick. With the first pick of this draft, I took Sir Anthony Dominguez. So I'm starting off this draft in true winner's fashion by cheating a little bit. It came out somewhat recently that Sir Anthony Dominguez was going to sign with the Chicago White Sox, and presumptively he will be the closer of the Chicago White Sox, which means his ADP, which a week ago was sitting at like 450, 500 something, has shot up, and now he is in the 300 to 350 range. So this is this kind of functions as both my draft pick and a PSA to everybody. If you're drafting nowish, you are very, very quickly running out of time to draft Dominguez at any sort of discount. Just like eyeballing the closer situations around the league, Sir Anthony Dominguez is probably, I want to say, like the 20th best closer out there, and he's that means like if you're like roughly the 20th best closer in the league, that means that you're probably going to settle in at probably under a 200 ADP. Would be my guess for where he ends up landing. Dominguez is someone that I was really hoping would land with the Mets as a like a middle reliever, a setup guy, but he wound up signing for 2 years, 20 million in Chicago, and you kind of have to assume that for that kind of money, he is very likely to at least open the season as the closer, and additionally also have a lot of rope. If the White Sox are spending that kind of money on a reliever, you have to assume that he is going to get opportunities, even if he blows a couple of appearances in spectacular fashion. Just like, for example, like giving up a grand slam to Eugenio Suarez in an important playoff series. If he were to do something like that, then he'd probably hold on to his role. So Dominguez is not one of the 20 best relievers in the league, I don't believe, but he is more than good enough to be a bad closer and still wind up with like 30 saves because of a lack of real stakes playing for the Chicago White Sox. We're talking about a pitcher who just made 12 appearances for the AL champions and pitched in 5 World Series games against the Dodgers. I think if he can get outs in like the highest of leverage situations that exist, I think he can probably close games for the Chicago White Sox. So, oh, I'm so sorry. You guys can hear my dog whining in the background. There's hot dogs in the room, so Tater is a little bit upset right now. I should probably give him a dog at some point. All right, so the situation is great for Sir Anthony Dominguez, and the stuff should support his continued success. He's got a high velo fastball, averaging 97.6, a high whiff sweeper, a high whiff splitter, and he throws those two pitches like 40% of the time. So it's a little bit of a coin flip whether you're going to get something fast or something bendy. He also throws a sinker, which he should probably stop doing. It's not a very good sinker. He barely throws it, and it still gets hit really hard when he does throw it. It allowed a 370 batting average last year. Everything else is awesome, though. He's definitely the kind of pitcher where you take the good with the bad. He walks a ton of guys, but that's just kind of who he is. He's got nasty stuff. He throws it somewhere in the vicinity of the zone, and usually pretty good things happen. Long story short here, his ADP is going to keep on rising and rising. So if you see him in a draft past 200 and you need a closer, jump.
Good stuff.
And now it's my turn to eat a hot dog.
Oh.
Have we? Hang on. How are we looking? We got another 100, so we are at 420, which means 2 dogs each. So
I've already eaten 4. It's fine. You don't have to eat any. You don't have to eat any yet.
Jordan, I have 8 hot dogs here.
Yeah, it's fine. I got it.
I gotta eat some of these. I have to eat hot dogs, Jordan.
Schwebsy, this is the only thing I have, please. For the love of God.
All right. Well, that's the first pick of the draft.
Oh, real quick, flip over the slide to the actual draft. On the slideshow.
Oh, yeah. There's a few slides in between. Just skip over those slides with the tiny text and go to the draft board, Sperry. We can
Understudy.
We could talk about that at the end if we have time.
You can control the draft board.
Oh, I can. I sure can. Heck yeah. All right. So, with the second pick of the draft, Jordan White takes.
Sperry, you there?
Sperrance.
Yeah, what's up?
Who was that?
That was another Guillermo Fuentes.
Yeah,
video.
okay, so when we talked about this beforehand, Jordan, and he can attest to this, he said, like, I have full creative freedom. Am I missing the boat for what we wanted to do?
Right, but there is a draft. There's bones that you have to build around.
There's guardrails on it, you know, like we give you a lot of like room to like kind of like work.
Right.
I want you to express
and
yourself.
it's appreciated. It's definitely appreciated.
Yeah, of course. Like, we don't want to quash your creativity either. Like, don't get us wrong, but at the same time, like, it at least needs to be like the player that we're drafting. So
okay, I guess that does make sense. I'm sorry. You guys promoted me this year and like let me get a little bit more involved, let me come on the stream and stuff, and I feel like I'm just ruining it already.
No. It's just like take a break, kind of like maybe figure some stuff out. Like, I know you probably have a lot of stuff prepped. If you need to adjust anything, just like
do it
now.
Why don't you guys just do the second round? I'll come back for the third round and see if everything's a little bit more how it should be.
Yeah, you know, don't push yourself, but if you can get it set up in time.
Yeah, we should be good for the third round. Yeah, y'all do the next couple. Let me make some tweaks and we'll revisit.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So Jordan, who did you actually take in the second with your first pick?
That was confusing. I took Dominic Canzone, outfielder for the Seattle Mariners. So
eat some dogs.
Go for it. Go on mute, please. I muted myself. I don't know if you could hear me chewing when I didn't mute myself.
Chat, do you want to hear the hot dog noises?
Please no. Please, for the love of God, no. So yeah, I chose Dominic Canzone. He had 11 home runs last year and 268 plate appearances for the Mariners. Looking at kind of how he set up at the plate, he made some interesting changes from 2024 to 2025. It looked like he closed his stance a bit. His hands were a bit higher when he was loading up. And then also he seemed to put more weight on his back leg and get more into his back hip when he was loading, just based off of what is admittedly like a more uneducated person's terms. He just looked more explosive at the plate. It kind of bore out in terms of him having a career high in max exit velo, where he had hit a ball 115.9, which is a full 5.5 miles per hour faster than his previous career high. And on top of that, which is kind of like a nice little note, is that he did it off of his previous team for a game-tying home run. Right now, I think the biggest question surrounding Canzone is his playing time. It's weird because they have Luke Raley on the roster as well. They're both not the greatest defenders, so one doesn't stick out over the other in terms of bringing more value on that side. And I think they're probably just going to go with the stronger bat. And right now, I think Canzone has the higher upside. So right now, when I was looking at Oopsie projections, he's projected for 441 plate appearances versus Luke Raley's 280. So there's some projection system. Shout out Jordan Rosenblum, that believe that he's going to have more plate appearances. And like, if I'm dreaming, like just round up to 450 plate appearances for Canzone. He's a guy who hits the ball exceptionally hard. He pulls it in the air a whole lot. 450 plate appearances, 20 home runs, 250-ish average, which is, aside from the counting stats, because he will be hitting lower in the lineup, I think it's going to be similar power production to like Josh Naylor, which is not bad at pick 430. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with my first pick here. And I think he's going to be an interesting one to watch early on in the season. I'm excited to see what he looks like in spring training too, because he was kind of rough in the playoffs last year. He kind of faded a bit. I was talking to Mikey Ahedo, our good friend, about that. So just kind of see where he's at coming into the spring. Oh God, no. How dare you subject our viewers / listeners to that? Because I'm a good person, I'm going to go on mute and eat this dog. I just assume that we're getting more donations right now.
I wasn't done with my hot dog, but it was a very obvious, like, kick it over to me moment, so I had to do something. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was a choice. Much like Sperry's Didier Fuentes videos, it was a creative choice.
Except you can't fire me.
Well, actually, yeah,
who am I
that's true,
kidding? We
yeah.
also cannot fire Sperry. We can just put him in timeout.
True.
All right. So I love the Canzone pick. In my deeper leagues, I absolutely had him over the course of last year multiple times in multiple leagues. Really big fan of his power potential. But so the structure of this draft is a snake, which means you have the next pick as well. So
Yes.
I've got the butt of the hot dog to finish, and then I'll get started on my second one. Mrs. Schwebzy has made a $50 donation. Please give Tate a hot dog so that he stops crying. I'm not sure what that means, but we'll get on to the next pick.
Perfect. And then for my second round pick, I chose to go with Romy Gonzalez, which the way that I described it to Schwebzy when we were doing notes and setting up for this episode was, imagine, if you will, a sort of Dominic Canzone Wario. He's similar but different. So he's right-handed instead of left-handed, obviously. He puts the ball on the ground a bit more, honestly, like a bit too much. Because of that, he does have a higher average upside because he still just destroys the ball, much like Canzone does. Exceptional hard hit rates. One of the things that I found about Romy Gonzalez when I was doing research was that he was up there with the best in baseball in punishing mistakes on breaking balls from left-handed pitchers. So, like, if you look at left-handed pitchers leaving breaking balls up in the upper 2/3 of the zone, you'll see him up there in slug alongside names like Shohei, Vlad, Aaron Judge, Schwarber, and then also Harrison Bader and his performance-enhancing crop tops. He just destroys lefties, and he doesn't really kill you versus righties either. From a ratio standpoint, he's going to put up a good average facing both-handed pitching. He's also projected to be multi-position eligible because he has first base eligibility in most leagues, but he's also going to be penciled in here for a starting second base job where he's seemingly unchallenged. So dreaming on upside, he has decent speed as well. So this is the type of guy who could go 2010 with like a 280 average, and it isn't absurd to dream on something like that. And at someone who's basically pick 400, I'm going to take that every day. So he's someone I'm going to be targeting in most of my drafts this year.
Love it. I'm in a similar boat there. I love this pick. He's someone that I definitely rostered at times last year. A well-established, absolute lefty killer. All right. So that does it with our. Oh, I didn't move the slideshow along. What a good presenter I am. All right. So with the second pick of the second round, the fourth pick overall, I went with my homer pick, Carson Benj. I feel like I don't know, chat. What do we think? At the time of this draft pick, Carson Benj was at 400.2 or 400.3 or something. Does he still qualify in the 350 to 400 range? If he is a 400 point something, I don't care. I'm not going to undo it. I'm just curious what you guys think. Did I cheat a second time in two picks? So looking back at this draft now that I finished it, I'm really glad that I went with Benj because I kind of went with a lot of as much as you can do with a late draft pick. I think I went with a lot of certainty versus upside, and I'm glad I got one pick in that had high upside. Kyle, you're not allowed to comment. You're a numbers guy. I don't want your opinion. So yeah, I'm glad I got some kind of youth here. Also, I'm a huge homer. I had to get at least one Met. I could have went with Clay Holmes again. I do really like him post 300, but I had already taken my 300 range player with Dominguez. So here we are. So true, Kyle. So the Mets have done a really fun thing in the last couple of drafts. And they, in back-to-back drafts, they took a two-way player from Oklahoma State and immediately turned them into like an elite prospect, first pitcher, then hitter. Just a fun back-to-back outcome for Mets draft picks. Hopefully, Benj can have a fraction of the outcome that Nolan McLean has so far. For all of you redraft folks and non-prospect people, Carson Benj was the 19th overall pick in 2024, and he was immediately successful upon joining the Mets minor league system. He put up WRC pluses of 150, 168, and 184 at A ball, high A, and double A, respectively, before scuffling a little bit in his initial exposure to triple A, and then hurting his wrist, and then finishing out the year with a bang in triple A. The overall triple A stat line is a little bit underwhelming, but under the hood, Benj actually raked in triple A in his first crack at triple A. He was really impressive. He had a 377 xWOBA, 106 miles an hour on his 95th percentile exit velo, a 15.5% barrel rate, which is really strong, especially for someone who didn't get to too much of his power, and a 53.5% hard hit rate. Just really strong stuff across the board. If I were to nitpick a little bit, I would want to see him pull some more fly balls. I would want to see him take a couple of more walks, but the profile looks really, really good right now. And the source of all this info has been Prospect Savant, a really good website for finding AAA analytics. So Benj is a capable center fielder, which should, in theory, translate to a strong left fielder, which is where he would currently be slated to play, with Luis Robert Jr. now manning center field for the Mets. If I had to project like the shape of his fantasy production, I would say that you're kind of hoping for across the board production with good speed, but nothing truly stand out. You know, like talking like 25 stolen bases, not 40, 15 home runs, not 20. So, you know, just kind of, I like to call this kind of player like a glue guy. He's going to give you just a little bit of everything and hold your team together. So last year's wrist injury is well in the rearview mirror at this point, but I kind of believe that if it didn't happen last year, we would have seen Benj get a cup of coffee last year, especially given how miserable the end of the Mets season was last year. They could have really used a bit of a jolt. At the moment, they're saying that he has a shot at the job. They're saying that he can win a job in spring training. His stiffest competition right now, if you can call it stiff, is Tyrone Taylor, who is not, it's should be an easily surmountable position battle there for Benj. I think in a perfect world, you're hoping for like that 15-25 season with home runs and steals, and the runs and RBIs are going to really depend strongly on where he hits in the lineup. You know, if he's hitting ninth, like he actually has pretty solid run potential because he's going to be hitting right in front of Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. So, you know, it's not quite second leadoff hitter, but it's not the death sentence for runs that it might otherwise be on another team. So yeah, I really like Benj as a high potential cheap play in drafts this year.
Almost didn't come off mute before I started talking.
How you doing there, bud?
I'm at 7 dogs.
Why?
What do you mean why? I'm trying to get ahead of the game.
What do you mean? What do I mean? Why?
You heard me.
We did have another $100 donation, which I believe, let's see, that puts us at 324, 25, 20, 570.
Okay, so collectively, we've eaten 4 more dogs than we need to. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yes, 9-5.
Not bad. On a good pace. I'm going to take a break for a second then. I'm going to chill.
Yeah?
I'm going to try to coast in that 12th dog.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're gonna chill now?
For just like a second. Yeah.
All right.
No, I do like Benj. I have, because of you, obviously last year. I have him rostered on a bunch of different teams, like keeper leagues and things like that. So obviously happy to have him. Outfield doesn't feel quite as easy to draft this year compared to previous years, at least for in my personal opinion. So having a guy like him in a keeper league is always really, really nice.
I remember distinctly last year, going back to last year's draft, that we both took outfielders in the first round. Or
Yeah.
well, you took Pavin Smith. I think you pivoted later to move him off outfield.
Yeah, I did.
But we took them both because we hated the outfield pool post 300.
It's tough. It's always really tough.
I don't think it's as bad this year. Just moving around some slides. Hopefully this is not too tiny for you all to see at home. But I think there are some good options post 300 this year. It's a lot less grim than it was last year. Like looking in the 300 to 350 range, Evan Carter still full of potential. Victor Robles kind of had a renaissance recently. DeLauder is just hurt all the time, but has loads of potential in the bat. I think Dylan Beavers is like there's a lot of guys here. This is so much different than it was last year.
Yeah, there's like guys that you can hope and pray on. There's like bounce back candidates galore. Yeah, there's a lot to really kind of like dream about later on, which was not the case.
Post 500, like Austin Hayes is going to have a ton of playing time with Chicago. Andrew Benintendi, I think, is just underrated year after year. Yastrzemski's going to play for Atlanta. Like I love Griffin Conine. I actually made sure he was the last name I threw in here among many.
I mean, like Parker Meadows could get 20 home runs if he gets the plate appearances.
Yeah. There's so much more in the outfield than there was last year. So this is actually a position that I'm more comfortable waiting on this year than I would have been last year. So it's the kind of broad insight we want to offer here. But again, snake draft. So that means it is my pick once again. I believe Sperry's timeout is over. So I will let him announce my next pick.
Here we go.
So close. That looked like my pick for a second. It was blurry.
Featuring the lone pitching performance that he had in his career.
That was Victor Caratini. Let's move the slide, as I should have done already. I don't have a lot to say here. This one's boring, guys.
Catchers are boring. Sorry.
This catcher is particularly boring, I think. He's somewhat productive. He's and you should be ready to drop him the first time someone else gets hot. And the first time, like, I don't know, Joe Mack hits a home run, you should be ready to drop Victor Caratini and pick him up. But to start the year, I think this is a very, very strong baseline for a second catcher. Like he's just gonna be fine. He's fine. Like all right, that's the end of what I'm gonna say. He's fine. No, not really. I realized this as this draft was going along that a non-zero portion of my analysis has boiled down to did a team give this guy money? Because it seems like teams are really reluctant to give players money all of a sudden this year. And I can confidently say with 100% accuracy that yes, the Twins gave Victor Caratini money, and I think that means he's going to play. And Caratini, what are they getting for that money? Cromulence. He has strong plate skills plus average talent with the bat. And that means you can probably just expect more of the same, not a lot of ebbs and flows. Looking at their depth chart shows that they just signed him when they already have a starting catcher, though. So what is the deal? At the moment, Roster Resource has Caratini slotted in as the starting DH. I don't know if that's going to hold. But I also don't need to tell you how dope that is if it holds, because fantasy managers love nothing more than a catcher who doesn't play catcher. If Caratini gets regular DH plate appearances while being the backup catcher, he could get way more plate appearances than you would expect. And again, the production is not going to blow you away, but it's not going to kill you. And if you can get that from your second catcher after pick 450, I really, really don't want to call it gold, because I just refuse to call anything regarding Victor Caratini gold. It's good. It's good to do that. You should do that. It's not a fun pick. It's not a sexy pick, but it should be a productive pick, and that is the important thing at the end of the day in fantasy.
Yeah, at this point in the draft with catchers, if you're getting a second catcher, playing time is the entire thing, right?
Are you still eating hot dogs?
Yep. I very well may be. I'm going to finish this one real quick. But anyway.
Oh, do I need to fill time because you're eating too much?
No, you don't. Hey, Sperry, roll the film on my next pick, and please tell me it's fixed this time.
Element of surprise.
Yeah, this is how this is going to go, huh?
Sperry, can you get back out here?
Hey, what's up? Oh God, I'm crying laughing so hard at their own bits. Yeah, what's up? You said you wanted your players in there, right?
That is true.
Schwebzy, you took Caratini, and Jordan, you took Carson Kelly, and both were in them.
You did technically follow the directions, which is
I'm actually crying. To be fair, my player was very blurry when he was on the screen.
Well, that's called the magic of editing and just like style. But like, I guess I'm still just confused. If you're gonna make me pivot and like I don't have time to do this.
We get you have a limited turnaround time. Like
right?
No, I totally get it. Like, I guess, have you been able to work on any of the other ones?
I mean, a little bit. Do you want me?
Yeah. Do you want to skip this next round again and then kind of come back?
I'll try again and see if I can figure it out. I guess I'm still just confused on what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know.
I mean, I'll say a little bit of the blame falls on us because we didn't give clear direction. Like that's fine.
No, I should be. No, I mean, like it's a draft. It makes sense to. You're right. It makes sense to do the players that you picked. Like it does make sense.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Regardless, we still appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. That is appreciated. Okay. Well, I'll try to fix some more, and I don't know. We'll see, maybe like the 5th round or something like that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Love you.
Bye, Sperry.
All right. So, who was your actual next pick?
My actual next pick, I also did a catcher, and this is just big honk shoot me hours. Late catchers are just a snooze fest, and I was cornered into picking a Cub because initially when we pulled the draft data, I pulled it from the wrong time frame, and our data wasn't matching one another's. So I thought that Logan Henderson was still kind of barely eking into the 300 to 350 range. That was not the case, especially after the Peralta trade. He's climbed up pretty steadily since then. So now I've been forced into taking a Cub, which is the worst thing for me as a Brewers fan to do. The good things that I can say about Carson Kelly is that his defense means that he's going to stay in the lineup regularly. He throws out runners, I think, with some of the best in the league. So like behind the plate, really, really strong. And then last year, he pulled the ball in the air more often than he ever has in his entire career. And that's thanks to a few approach changes at the plate. He also had a career high in plate appearances. I will say his pulled air percentage was double what it was in 2024. He made a conscious adjustment in his timing. So his intercept point was further out ahead of him. So he would pull the ball more. Jay Jaffe at Fangraphs had a really good article about this at the end of May last season, about the changes he had made. At that point, when Jay released that article, Carson Kelly had a 164 WRC plus, and then from that point forward, he had a 90 WRC plus throughout the rest of the season, which was largely propped up by a 160 WRC plus July, where he slashed 290, 370, 581. So basically, that makes 2 months of really good hitting scattered across 4 months of little to no results, which can lead to some really frustrating stretches when you are a manager. Like if you have daily lineups or weekly lineups and you have a second catcher spot, you wonder if it's going to hurt you more than having him in the lineup than on your bench. So that's kind of why I'm just whatever about this. But I mean, all the poo-pooing aside, the playing time is guaranteed. And a warm body is really all you can ask for as a second catcher in like a 15-team league. We've seen glimpses of what he can be, and obviously we can dream on him hopefully maintaining that more this year. But a guy having a breakout season, or not even a breakout season, but like a breakout stretch at 30 doesn't feel super sustainable to me. So this isn't my favorite pick. This is actually probably my least favorite pick in my draft, but you kind of got to fill that catcher slot somewhere. So that's what I went with.
So true. Sometimes you just got to take a catcher. One of the worst parts about 2 catcher leagues.
Yeah,
but I like it. This is actually somewhat. So we cheated a little bit again. I apologize. No, actually, I'm not sorry. We cheated. Deal with it. Carson Kelly, when Jordan originally pulled the data for like the entire month of January, Carson Kelly was somewhere around like a
320,
something like that. And then when we pulled up the more recent, like 2-week stretch, like the most recent 2 weeks, he was at 410. So this actually counts as Jordan's 300 to 350 ADP pick, but he got him, he's actually back at 410. Actually, I mean, I think that only makes him, I think that only makes it a better pick, honestly. Now that he's, you can get him 100 picks later. But some good news here. We have reached 685 for since we started the ticker for this podcast, this panel. So that puts us at 3 dogs each. I'm about to eat my third. You have eaten God knows how many.
Let me count. 1, 2, 3.
I am not letting like your degeneracy derail my plan. So I'm still going to eat my hot dogs, even though you've got a buffer going on over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get ahead of the game here,
But good news, that 660 puts us over 13.5 for the campaign.
Heck
so
yeah.
We are at $13,525. 15,000 is looking kind of sketchy. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get the death dog.
I would love to see you suffer so much.
I know you would. I feel like many people would.
I don't know. My tax return's about to hit. Maybe make a fat donation to watch you just just squirm on stream.
But I digress. You've got another pick coming up. Sperry's in timeout. Why don't you get to it while I eat my third dog?
All right. So with my 4th pick, I went with a reliever in the post 500 range. And honestly, I was fairly uninspired by most relievers in this range, but I knew that I wanted to take a starting pitcher in the earlier band. So I had to go with someone here. And after looking through the names, the one that I thought would be funniest to pick, like just as completely honest, is Matt Swanson from the St. Louis Cardinals. Because I thought it'd be funny to pick a guy whose last name starts with the most common abbreviation for saves as a reliever. But he also just happens to be pretty good. I think that the closer situation isn't super clear in St. Louis, and there's a chance that he could vulture quite a few wins and saves. The current consensus in St. Louis is that Riley O'Brien and Jojo Romero are the front runners for saves, and they're both really contact heavy ground ball pitchers that have like pretty bad walk issues. Like both of them have a walk rate over 11% last year. Swanson, on the other hand, fills up the zone in comparison. And despite running a really poor chase and whiff rate, carry to K rate of over 29% last year, I don't think that number is going to hold up based on his profile. I think he's more of a pitch to contact guy as well. But he combines like that reliance on called strikes with elite velo and an ability to fill up the zone that the other guys just don't have.
I like Swanson because he fills me with the irresistible urge to just put a really obnoxious accent on while I'm saying his name. You know what I mean.
Tread lightly. Tread very lightly.
But we can't say Swanson.
We can't engage in stereotype.
What in 2026?
Schwebsy. No. So he still manages to draw weak contact despite living in the zone so much. And even if he doesn't get save opportunities, the one nice thing that I actually like about Swanson is that he made a ton of multi-inning relief outings last year. meaning that if he has good ratios, the volume at which he pitches is going to affect your ratios more and create more value. So I think that's kind of why I'm in on him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Come on, Schwebs, chew. You can do it. Sorry, do I need to vamp more? Understudy.
Full time.
Oh. He didn't come in.
Dance, monkey, dance. Talk.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm so full of hot dog. Like, okay, can I say something completely like upfront and honest? I can already feel the hot dogs, not so much in my stomach, but my foot's cramping. That's straight up real. I've had to like adjust my weight onto one foot because the other foot is cramping because of the pure sodium content that I've ingested in the past 45 minutes.
Well, just a preemptive congratulations on being the subject of a scientific paper after this.
Thank you. I mean, my insides are probably completely preserved based on the amount of chemicals that I'm ingesting currently. So
I was gonna say you're a measurable percentage pig right now, but those are vegan dogs.
They are vegan dogs. Sorry, everyone.
So what is it? What is it? Compost?
Dirt.
So sorry. Not
Just
really.
dirt.
But I didn't move this PowerPoint. I'm so
Boo.
bad at this. Boo,
Okay.
boo presenter. But yeah, housing vegan dogs is more impressive, I would argue. Because you get you're eating vegan hot dogs. No one likes that. But I forgot to mention that the last donation that took us beyond 13.5 was from our very own Kyle Bland, and with it he attached a picture of Didier Fuentes. So now I just have Didier Fuentes just staring at me while this is going on, as if I have not seen his face enough so far.
Good.
Thanks, understudy. But we've got another pick coming up. Sperry's still in timeout. So with the second pick of the fourth round, Schwebzy takes Yoan Moncada. And yes, I'm aware that this is probably going to wind up being a wasted pick when we look back at this. At this point, Yoan Moncada may simply be too broken to ever return value on a draft pick again. But we are picking past 500. He's a player whose primary failing is health. So if we're talking about a roster spot that multiple people will likely fill before the end of the year, I love the idea of taking Yoan Moncada at his healthiest, because arguably he's never going to be healthier than he is on opening day. I say knowing full well that he got hurt on April 10th of last year. So, but that doesn't mean he's going to get hurt on April 10th of this year. He could stay healthy. He had a 2-month stretch last year where he stayed healthy. Like he can stay on the field for a length of time. It's just, you're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle with this pick. He had 3 healthy stints last year, and his WRC plus in those 3 healthy stints were 98, 141, and 108. So we're talking about a floor of competence and some counting numbers, since he's going to be in the middle of the lineup, and the opportunity to absolutely hit the jackpot. One important thing to note about the current iteration of Yoan Moncada is that the Angels now have him as a platoon bat. So in spite of him being a switch hitter, he only really hits well against righties. So they're probably right to do this, because he's just not a very good hitter against lefties anymore. But that doesn't help us as fantasy managers. So he may just be a strong side platoon bat at this point. But as long as you know what you're getting into when drafting him, you can make the appropriate decisions to make that work. The one bit of optimism I have there is that his platoon partner, I use that term lightly, is Vaughn Grissom. And when's the last time you were ever worried about Vaughn Grissom getting playing time? So, maybe he gets a little bit more than the token platoon plate appearances. I haven't spoken much about his on-field production, because it's almost an afterthought here. It's really just, it's the health. Is he healthy? Then I want him. Is he not healthy? Then I don't want him. But there are things that I'm excited about in his profile too. Moncada just turned in his best season ever when it comes to pulling fly balls, which we love that. So I fully believe in the power that he showed last year. He put up his best ever barrel rate and his best hard hit numbers since 2019. That info paired with his strong chase rates mean that I expect him to be a decent enough presence in the batter's box and just continue his solid overall production. I think Roster Resource currently has him hitting fourth against righties, which is great. Love that. The Angels are not a particularly good baseball team. Shocking news, I know. They have at least 4 batters in their everyday lineup that I would generously describe as should be DHing. And that's unfortunate because Yohan Moncada is both made of glass and so bad at defense, so incredibly bad at defense. On a better team, he'd probably get more rest days at DH, along with the built-in rest days that come with being a platoon bat, and he might stay healthier. But this might be the rare case of being on a team that is so bad that it is actually bad for your health. But maybe he'll wind up being like a fun deadline acquisition for a team that can deploy him more appropriately. Anyways, the TLDR of this whole thing is that if you're this late in the draft and you need an infielder, you are very likely not drafting somebody who is going to be your starter all year long. So draft the player who's good when he's healthy while he's healthy. You don't have to think about the fact that he's going to be hurt in a month. You can just ride that month out and then pick up someone that pops up, on free agents throughout the course of the year. But don't let him clog up one of your IL spots. When he gets hurt, just drop him. That's it. So that's that pick. And while I was talking just now, Mike and Mickey Davis, just as promised in chat, dropped a $500 donation, which puts us over 14,000 and puts us at 11 combined hot dogs, which would be 6 for you and 5 for me. And I'm only on number 3. I'm halfway through 3. So I've got some dogs to dog, and you are just ahead of the game. I don't even
I'll
care.
let you know. This is dog 11.
Okay. But yeah, that's my Yohan Moncada pick. The next pick is mine, actually. I was getting ready to go house another hot dog, but I actually the next pick is me. So I mean, it's the last round, so it's really it's Sperry's last chance at this whole thing.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So I wanna apologize again for the first 2 sets of videos that I did. I guess I that's on me. I missed the boat. I want to sit here while we watch the first one for you, Schwebzy. And if it's good, we'll run the last one when Jordan picks. I'll go back to my background. I just want to sit here and we'll all watch it together and be sure it at least works. Remember, didn't have a ton of time to do this because, the creative vision had to change real fast.
It's very unorthodox to see the understudy's face. I just want to put that out there.
I'm aware, but I'm humble because I put understudy in there. Like, I didn't put my own name in there. Like, maybe one day, like PitchCon 2030, I'll be worthy of it. But for now, it's still understudy, especially while, I'm still messing everything up. So, okay, so here, we'll stop delaying.
I'll allow it. I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
Christian Javier, Astros right-hander, underwent Tommy John and returned last year to throw 37 innings and is penciled into the Stros rotation. He features a fastball we've seen in 2022 have a 1.4 HAVA, which is well above average.
Now, I get it. I don't have the best voice. It's not the best, but like we're crunched on time. Like I can't. Jordan's usually my voice guy. I get Jordan to do the voices for me because he's got the good mic. He's got the good voice. All that.
My only quibble.
Thank you.
My only quibble is that you cut yourself off mid-sentence and cut back to camera while I was mid-nose blow.
I don't have control over that. The video ended.
Oh, okay. Just
maybe if we had like a real production meeting, I could have given you in cues, out cues for all the videos. But this one we had to come up with. So okay, so if we're good, I'll let you go back to your pick. I'll run the last video when you call for it for Jordan's pick, and we'll finish on a good note.
Okay.
All
right.
Thank you,
So
guys.
My last pick is Didier Fuente. No, Christian Javier. I love Javier as a sleeper pick this year. I was actually watching Nick do his Houston starting pitching rotation breakdown recently, and he reached Javier and was immediately like, oh, oh, this guy. And I was like, yeah, Nick, please stop talking because I need him to be a sleeper. But also, you know, I had the mixed feeling of like, yeah, good. Yeah. Nick agrees with me. I'm smart. But he had a couple of injury plagued seasons, he being Christian Javier, not Nick Pollock, in 2024 and 2025, including a Tommy John surgery. But Javier did return towards the end of the 2025 season and did so displaying an expanded repertoire, which is interesting. Back during the peak of his powers, Javier got by almost exclusively with fastball slider. It was a really, really good fastball and a really, really good slider. Like it was a freakishly good fastball. It got so much vertical break on it. Also, we got dog here. Say hi to Tater, folks. So back then he had this elite vertical breaking four seamer, but I think it seemed like batters started to catch on to it. It stopped being as effective. So he started expanding his repertoire, but then he kept getting hurt. So we didn't really get to see the fruits of that. Last year, when he finally came back from injury, he came back with 5 pitches. It was fastball, sweeper, changeup, sinker, curveball. And now we're looking at a full repertoire. He gets to break out whatever is appropriate for that batter instead of just fastball, slider, go burr. So I absolutely think he's got something left in the tank. I do not think we're ever going to see like a sub 3 ERA again. But like the slightly compromised version of Javier has to be a little bit more deliberate with his command. It's not, his fastball is not the world destroyer that it used to be. And as a result, he was locating it higher than he usually does. So he's not getting any sort of like called strikes with this pitch. It's really all he's hoping for swings and misses with the fastball now. And I think the real true hope here is that he can regain the tick of velo that he lost. He used to be around like a 93 plus. Now it's more like 92 plus. So, you know, we hope that he can regain that tick on his fastball and get back to, you know, some of the way he used to be, because he also, you know, correspondingly lost a little bit of vertical break on that fastball. It's very easy to forget that Javier is only 28. I was actually talking to Sperry earlier, and I was like, how old do you think Christian Javier is? And he said 31. No, 28. He still should be basically in the prime of his career. It kind of feels like he's been around forever, though. I think I'm going to be drafting him regardless. I think I have him as a keeper in at least 2 leagues, but I will be, you know, looking to pick him up late and cheap in drafts this year. But if we get to spring training and he is popping like an average of a 93 on his fastball or above, I'm going to be all over this. I'm going to be drafting him regardless, but I'm going to bump him up a few rounds if he does show that velo return. So yeah, that's I love Javier this year. I would be going after him aggressively in my drafts as long as he's let's see, he was in the 401 to 450 range in the last 2 weeks. That's insane to me. There are a lot of good late round starting pitchers this year, but I do think Javier should be going way earlier than he is.
I really need to catch my breath.
Buddy, are you good?
No. I'm not.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the crying dog behind me.
Yes, fair. I finished.
But are you good?
I finished my 12th dog.
12th hot dog.
Which means I beat last year's total.
You know, it's not the volume that gets me; it's the speed. I'm trying to eat fast. Maybe I'm just talking a lot more than you are, but I've only you
do talk more than I do, 100%.
All right. Well, that's my final pick, and that means it's time for Jordan's final pick.
Peyton Tolley, Red Sox lefty, might not be in the rotation to start the year. It's an electric fastball, but it's really going to be the secondaries that help determine the heights that he can reach. Oh yeah, it sounds just like...
I said, ooh, come on baby, turn the lights off. Ooh, 'cause it's getting late.
He's so fired.
If I had the ability, I would, We can dangle that carrot of not being an understudy anymore out in front of him a little bit further for a while, at the very least. But carrot! I can't think about any other food right now. Oh my god!
We can dangle that hot dog in front of him.
I need I need a second, genuinely.
I just took a bite of hot dog. You can't walk away. Unbelievable. It's like when the waiter comes over just as you shoved your face full of food.
I'm genuinely sweating right now. So much. Like, way too much.
Be.
Oh. Anyway, my pick for my fifth round was Peyton Tolley. This is a tough one for me to parse. I really like Peyton Tolley. The fastball is obviously electric. But the Red Sox traded for Johan Oviedo. He slotted in to be the fifth starting pitcher in that lineup. And even without that trade, Tolley would have been a dark horse candidate, I think, behind Connolly Early for that fifth rotation spot. Early just has a more well-rounded repertoire, stronger command. That said, yeah, the fastball is just super elite. The walk issues that we saw from Tolley, like if you look at his abbreviated stint in the majors, he had a 4.41 walks per 9 rate. Most of that was just blown up because he had one really bad start against the A's, and then also gave up 2 home runs in that start in like the bandbox that is Sacramento. So I don't want to put too much stock into that. I feel like he was probably just letting the nerves get the best of him in his first taste in the majors. We can dream obviously on what he'll look like at his top end. His first start was 5.2 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. This one also is a bit just based on vibes. There was an interview that Tolley did this offseason with Red Sox media members where he was using onomatopoeias to make reporters stumble when they're referencing his interview, and then talking about Sam's Club brand deal because he loves Sam's Club so much. He's a hot dog guy. So, I mean, another reason for me to be on board with him. And also quoting, I believe it's Kawasaki's from the Blue Jays, monkeys never cramp line. He just I don't know. He seems like a fun, regular, just normal dude that's easy to cheer for. So I do want to see him succeed, and that's also part of why I wanted to choose him with this last pick.
He's just a regular guy with an otherworldly
he's just a 6'6".
Fastball.
Yeah, he's just a 6'6", 250 guy with an insane fastball. Just a regular guy.
He's just a regular guy who looms over me, who is 6'3".
But yeah, so Peyton Tolley. Obviously, I don't think he's going to start in the rotation to start the season unless he has an insane spring. But I think that at some point he's going to be pitching meaningful innings for the Red Sox. So stash and hold guy, or someone that you instantly snap up off the waiver wire the minute he gets called up again. I have no more thoughts. He's chewing. I need to vamp. Oh my God.
Understudy.
What's our total at for donations right now?
Get out of here.
Total? No, you can stay. Oh.
We're up to $14,100 now. I don't know
Nice.
what we started at. Schwebsy's tracking that, but
12-8?
maybe.
Something
It's
like that?
about 12 dogs.
I mean, we beat last year by about $700 total raise. I think last year was 13.4.
Yeah.
I think Nick has said it a bunch.
All right. So, chat. We did not reach 15,000. That was my line for the death dog. Since I do have I had prepped, all of these hot dogs with the exception of this one, which was going to get the death dog sauce. But since we did not reach that number, I will give this. I will donate this hot dog to my second favorite charity, my dog.
Well done, gentlemen. Very, very well done. And honestly,
Thanks.
I'm a little sad because now I have to wait another 365 days for this.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Hey, we're worth the wait though, Nick.
I mean, yes, but I wish I just didn't have to wait.
It takes us this long to put an episode together. I don't know what
we live in an age of instant gratification. People don't have any patience anymore.
That was some serious clipping, Jordan, and worth it.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. This is so great. I just penciled you in and said you're going to do this, and you did it again. And you got everybody to donate up to $14,000 in 100. Oh my gosh, Scott Genstad with the late entry of 100 just now. Absolutely incredible. Mike and Mickey Davis again, $500 in memory of Linda Davis, greatest Phillies fans ever. We lost her in 2008 to ALS. Keep up the good work, all you folks at PitchCon. Everybody, really, it's been 4 days of wonderful baseball conversation. And Jordan and Chris, it's been wonderful watching you close it out. So thank you guys so much, and congratulations to your stomachs.
Oh God, I can't wait to go sit down.
Jordan, I'll see you in a year, buddy.